Hey everyone, welcome back to the Simple Crazy Haven, and welcome if you are new here. My name is Kaylee, and here on my channel I share all about design and DIYs to create a haven for you and your family. In today's video, we are going to be diving into the projects that we did in 2024. We spent 10 months out of the year doing different projects, either like big projects to small projects. This year was kind of like on the smaller side because we did do a few big ones and we were honestly just kind of burnt out by it all. We have 3 children and, you know, life and jobs and sports and school and all the things. So, you know, it comes and goes. Some months we do a lot, and there were 2 months that we literally did not do anything except survive life. So we are going to be diving into all of the projects, and I will be sharing with you guys clips and footage in this video as well, so you'll be able to see that. And at the very end, there's a little sneak peek to a project that we are going to be starting off 2025 with. So if you want to get a recap of what we did this year, keep on watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. So last December, we started our office built-in desk situation, and our house kind of has like they call it a next gen suite. So it's kind of a different layout, and it's not what I would choose if we actually like custom built the house. But it's what we got. So it's what's kind of like our playroom, media room, office, where I kind of keep all of my gear and everything. So in that room, there was a bar built in for like a kitchenette, and there was a sink and plumbing, and they sold us a mini fridge. And literally the day we moved in, we posted on Facebook Marketplace because it was just gross. It was not a nice mini fridge, and it was all scratched up. So, you know, if you know this home builder, you know. But anyway, so we pulled that out, and it didn't make the most sense for us. You know, we never used a sink in the playroom. And we just needed storage. We needed drawers. We needed a place to have our computer, and, you know, we just kind of like, we're going in with the long-term mentality of making that like the game room, media room, all that type of stuff. So we started that project in December, and we kind of worked on it through into January. So in January, we finished that project. We built the drawers, and we made these beautiful drawer fronts, and we painted, and we did the crown molding and all of that stuff. And it looks so pretty. We painted it Sherwin-Williams Mothwing, which I love that color. It's so pretty. It was like that's exactly what I was envisioning in my head. And then I was flipping through my little swatch book, and I saw it. I was like, okay, that's the one. And then putting it all together just looks so good. So I love that spot. And, you know, we still have so much to do in that room, which will be maybe in 2025. It might be a 2026 project. You know, you never know how these things go. Things happen. But I think that this desk came out super well, and it's beautiful, and it's actually one of my better performing videos on TikTok, and people are always asking questions about it. If we had like a desk plan or anything, and I unfortunately did not film much of it because I wasn't thinking long term, unfortunately. But, you know, we can always go back and write up plans. But, you know, people would ask if that was like stock cabinets, but everything was built with plywood by ourselves. So that's one of my favorite projects, and I love how it came out. And I would love to like find a piece of art to put above the computer because we've just got like that shiplap, and it's just kind of plain. So I'd love like some art in there or something, but, you know, it comes with time. So maybe that'll be something we find this year. In February, we started our primary bathroom shower renovation, and I had full intention to post a video all about that, but we are not pros at that. I will never do a tile shower again in my life. That was the most grueling process. Hard work. Look, if you are turned off by the price of how expensive getting a shower put in, there's a reason why. It's worth the money. I wish we would have just paid someone to do it at that point because it was just so much work, and it was just a lot. You know, you would think you'd get ahead, and then you're like, oh my gosh, I've still got to do all this, and then the tile saw or a tile breaks, and you know, it was just not fun. So we had ripped out our builder grade shower surround. And so when we first moved into the house, we noticed that the little piece of base cap in the front was like molding. And I'm like, okay, but there's no water. Like, we're not getting water on the outside of the shower. So we didn't know what the heck was going on. So we pulled it all out, ended up pulling all the baseboard off around the shower, and it just kind of lived with that. And we, you know, you would occasionally feel water, but you could never like find the source. So we started that with the thought of there might be mold. So let's get ahead of that and get it, you know, taken care of, you know, remediation if needed. But that wasn't the case. And we're like, what the heck? So, you know, we took out an entire shower that, you know, I guess was okay. It could have been okay for a little bit longer. So we did that, but we also took out the soaker tub, the garden tub. I'm 5'11" and my husband is 6'6", and it's not like he would ever get in a bath anyways, but the bath is maybe like 4 feet wide or 4 feet long. And so no matter what, I can't like soak in that tub, and it was just not, it wasn't a fun thing. And it just turned into something you just had to clean because it just got dusty. And I hated that. So I was like, let's just rip it out. And we do have intentions to eventually like build in like a vanity situation, like a sit down vanity, in that little nook where the bathtub was. It's not been done yet, but we did like finish the whole bathroom. Like the bathroom's sealed. We've got flooring, like where we took the tub out. So we've done a lot, and we started that in the beginning of February, and it was like March 14th was the first time we took a shower in there. So, I mean, it took every bit of a month, about 5 weeks total, honestly. But we just like left, we like patched the wall with drywall, and we just left it. And I ended up going back in over the summer, I think it was like July or something. I went back and like finished everything. So, you know, like did finish the drywall and like the texture and the mud and all that. But, you know, it was just one of those things that took the life out of us. Like, it was draining. The shower and the tub project was so draining, physically, mentally, and financially. It was very expensive. It was not a cheap project. So anyways, we did that, and I'll throw in some clips of all that, but you know, was not the best time. And that was really all we did that month. I did paint my youngest son's room, but that's like, you know, not really like a huge DIY project. But so we did that in February. And that was like the majority of our February and March. And in March, I made DIY cafe curtains, and I don't currently have the cafe curtains out anymore. I like them, but I just felt that the pattern wasn't me. And I think it would look good if you had like them halfway down your window, but I wanted more privacy than that, like just because of where we live. So I did them like 3/4 up the window, and you'll see the video, but I didn't love them. So I took them down a few months later. Probably, I mean, honestly, I probably took them down like August, but I did that, and I really was proud of myself for those because they came out really clean. I took my time, I measured, and I did them on a super cheap budget. I found the brackets for the window for like $10 a pair. And then we used this like little pipe. It's not even a pipe. It was just like a bar, like a metal bar. It was like a 1/4 inch wide or maybe 3/8 inch, but we painted it, and I mean, I did it on like such a small budget, and I got clearance fabric at the fabric store, and it looked really good, but it just wasn't me long term. So I ended up taking those down, but I do love those. And I also made a DIY bench, which I shared on Instagram and TikTok. I'll have some footage here that I actually filmed for YouTube, but I've never uploaded the video because I didn't love it. So I did all that, and I don't have the bench out currently, but it's in our playroom. It's just not in our room because it just became like another spot for me to throw stuff, and I actually kind of want to reupholster it. I don't love the fabric that I chose, so maybe that'll be a 2025 just little mini project. Maybe that's what I should do, is like a mini series of just finishing out projects that we did. But So that was kind of March. So it was just kind of all me just doing easy stuff with the sewing machine and making that bench. April was the first official month that we literally did nothing. My husband started a new job that month and we were just busy. We had sports and both my kids played sports. So, you know, 3 days out of the week, we were like juggling 3 kids between 2 different ball fields, which was just kind of a lot. So, you know, we just kind of took a step back and relaxed. I did start painting the entire house. So when we moved in, we had flat alabaster paint, which I love alabaster, but it just felt too yellow with like the other colors I wanted to add in. Like this cabinet back here is accessible beige at 90%. So it was lightened at 10%. I know that seems like such a weird number to lighten it to, but that was the combination I liked. And I didn't love the way alabaster looked next to it. So I got 3 5-gallon buckets from Sherwin-Williams and I painted this entire house pure white in a satin finish, but their satin is kind of like an eggshell, so it's not like, you know, super shiny satin. But I painted the majority of the house. I did the hallways, the kitchens, everything. I did bathrooms, and I do still have to paint my oldest son's room. He's got a blue wall, and then I want to do the rest in pure white, and then the playroom. But I'm not gonna do the playroom until we finish out that space. So, but I don't know if I'm going to paint that playroom pure white or not. I don't know. We'll see how we're feeling, and you know, I might eventually like change the paint color in here, but I don't think so. I do love just a simple white wall, and then you can add in colors and accents. And I love to look at people's houses that are moody and have lots of color, but I feel like for an open concept space, like our house is so open concept that you need something just pretty plain that can just be used across the board, because you don't want to be like switching up paint colors in all the different rooms when they all kind of connect and there's no like transition space, you know? So anyways, that's kind of all I did. And you know, I started that like, I think I started it on the end of April. So it doesn't really count. I guess it's kind of more of a May thing, but I did buy the paint on April 20th. I remember that, but because they were having like a 40% off sale. So I was like, oh husband, we need to go take advantage of this sale because that's a big savings. And I love Sherwin-Williams paint. The quality is so much better. May was a fun month. So I have a video, I have it all filmed. I just never put it together, and maybe I'll sit down and work on catching up on all these other videos I never posted. But in May, we started our shiplap entryway, which that thing went crazy on TikTok. It's so exciting. And it got a lot of hate. People are like upgrading a builder grade. You know, I said it was adding character to my builder grade house with this shiplap. And it really made a lot of people mad, which is so funny because, you know, I didn't think they paid our mortgage, but anyways. You just have to like love people's opinions. Anyway, so we added the 19-foot wall of shiplap, and we did vertical, and we ended up coming back and adding like a 1x2 on the top from when we originally did it, which I think looks much better. But I love that, and I think it like added so much to that space and kind of like made that long blank boring wall just have some character. Like that's what I said, adding character. And so I painted that in Sherwin-Williams shiitake, which I love that color. It came out so well. And now I'm kind of like kicking myself because I'm like, what if I would have painted these shiitake? But I feel like these cabinets would be like a little bit too dark. I do like just the really neutral colors here. And obviously shiitake is still neutral, but I feel like it might be too dark. And since we do plan to, so one day we plan to redo our kitchen and paint it, and I'm going to use this same accessible beige in there because, you know, but it's like 8 feet away from the kitchen. So, you know, I think the colors need to match. So we did that, and I really love that project, and I will talk more about that one in just a minute. But we also started adding our new trim work around our back door. So we have French doors, and you know, we've just like truly, we've got such a basic builder house. So our doorways, our door frames were just like this, I mean, I guess really classic, just like 3-inch molding, but we took that off. But we added the molding combination that we like to do. So we've like done a few windows here and there. And the goal is to eventually do all the doors and all the windows like that. But you know, comes with time. We'll do one at a time pretty much. So we added it to the back doors. And then I ordered some woven wood shades from Select Blinds to add there, because I didn't love that our backyard neighbors could like basically see into our house at night, and like that's our living room, that's where we hang out. And you know, if my husband's ever gone in the evening, I like to have everything closed and shut. I'm just one of those people, even though like nothing ever happens in our neighborhood. That's just one of those things. I guess that's a girl thing. But added the shades and I love them, and it just added like the perfect amount of warmth to that space, and I love it. So we did that in May, and then the kids got out of school. So, you know, we didn't like go crazy. My husband was still working like a crazy job at this time, like 90 something hours a week. So moving on into June, but that week we started working on our bedroom wall, which, you know, we had been planning what we're gonna do in here. So it's not just like all of a sudden we have a game plan. You know, I drew it out and we went back and forth with the measurements, but we started our bedroom wall and like our whole entire bedroom makeover. So I got new curtains, we got new bedding. Oh, we also got nightstands. Like we had been using like hand-me-down furniture. Like we added crown molding, we added the trim and the like wainscoting. I don't know what you'd really want to call it. It was like picture frame molding wainscoting. I love it. I think it looks so dang good in there. That's like probably one of my favorite projects we did. Our bedroom finally feels like a primary bedroom should, you know, like it got the attention it needed, and usually that's like one of the places that like last on the list. But I'm so glad we did. I love our bedroom. It is like our little retreat. So, and I'll probably have a link down below, and I'll probably have in like cards to each of these things I've talked about if there's videos on them. But I think it came out super well, and yeah, I love it. So that was like the one thing we did in June. You know, the kids were home. It was crazy. We did the wall, and that was, you know, everything's expensive, okay? Like you can't just like think you're gonna go redo an entire house in a year, because realistically we're all on small budgets, and that's what I share on here. So I do hope that this kind of inspires you, that like you'll see that like it takes time. Like some months you do huge things and some months you don't. But anyways, I love how it came out, and it looks so good. So in July, my husband was still working that crazy job and working crazy hours. We upgraded all of our closets, like the closets in our bedrooms, from just like, they came with just wire racks, just a wire rack that was usually like falling out of the wall, because I guess builders just don't care. Like if you buy a mass built home, they just don't care, which is really unfortunate, because it's one of your biggest investments for most people. But anyways, so I used the Closet Made Brightwood collection, and I did all of my kids' closets, and then I did our primary closet, which primary closet needed some help big time, and it's still not perfect, but you know, it's good enough. So that like opened up so much more storage for like the kids' things, that like we could put like some of their toys in, and just like little things that's theirs, and you don't necessarily want them out like on their dressers or whatever, but just kind of having more like folding storage. So I love those, and they're so affordable. I think it came out really well, and so far like we're very happy with all of them. So that was, you know, that was kind of like a solo project, which was fun, because, you know, granted, it wasn't like build anything massive, but I felt really accomplished. I was like, okay, I can do this. I could probably figure out how to like woodwork like my husband, but he's just faster and so much better, and he can just like do fractions in his head, and like it's no big deal, and he's amazing. So love him for that. But it was nice to be able to feel like I accomplished something on my own. So I definitely recommend those closet systems, and completely redo your closet. Sign me up, right? So August was a fun month. So I had been scouring online for budget-friendly kitchen pendants, and I had ones that I love from Studio McGee, which I will have a picture right here. and I really had a hard time finding like a dupe for any of them, or like even like visual comfort or anything. Like I just wanted like a simple pendant light. And then one night I was just scrolling and all of a sudden I saw one on Home Depot and they were $53 each. 53 bucks. So I ordered 2 immediately. And Robbie added some wires. He had a switch. He like, I don't know how he does it. Him and my dad will be on the phone like brainstorming how somebody's gonna do something, but they wired them in, and now I have 2 beautiful pendant lights, and they were $53. And I think the ones I wanted from Studio McGee were maybe like $850. So like I saved $1,600. Yes, please. So we did that, and I love those. Like I'm looking at them right now. Like I think they're just pretty, and it kind of fits like the vibe of how we're trying to go. So I love them. And so I also, in August, I added a gallery wall to that front shiplap entryway, and I think it came out so good. Since I made the video, I went back and I redid the layout. I was like, this just doesn't feel right. So I will add in some clips of what it looks like now, and I think it looks so nice. And I do have to go in and add a few more prints. I've just kind of left it because like by the time I finished it, then I decorated for Halloween, and then I decorated for Christmas, and now I'm actually about to start taking it down. I actually took down our bedroom tree last night, which today is December 27th. So I kind of felt like a Grinch, but yeah, so I took that tree down, and now I'm like, okay, so now that the craziness is kind of coming to an end, I'll go through and like rework my prints and kind of make it look better. Anyways, I love a gallery wall. I have some tips and tricks in a video that I will leave linked right here up in a card. I don't know which side it is on. I need to learn that. But I love that. So that was a fun little project for myself to do, and I did that like once all the kids were back in school. So I have a few hours, a few times a week to myself. So I loved doing that project. And we also started building our coffee table. So I would have filmed the whole entire thing and documented it until our router something went wrong when we were doing it. I think some type of chomper, that's not the right word. Something happened. And so I just was like, okay, I'm over filming this. But we built our coffee table in our living room, and we made it out of rustic black walnut, which I don't know if like, what's the difference between walnut and black walnut. But we usually do like maple or white oak, but I wanted like that deep tone in there. I'm craving, like I want to go a little bit deeper with our accents, even though we've, got the bright white and everything. Anyways, I love that thing. We beat it to crap. Like we literally were smacking it with hammers. Robbie got like this big old chain out and was like whacking it with a chain. Like the people in our neighborhood who drive by our house and see us woodworking all the time probably think we are insane. Because like we are always just like ripping something down on the saw. I mean, we haven't done that recently, but anyways, so we built that, and like we're like using like a pick and a axe, and also maybe not an axe, but like a pick and a hammer, and just like trying to like put in knots and just make it look super old and rustic. So I love that thing. I think it's so pretty, and it's probably one of my favorite builds that we've done. So that was August, and it kind of carried us into September. We did that like the weekend, like August ended and September began. But I love it. So in September, so since we kind of did that coffee table, I knew that I was going to be getting new curtains that I partnered with 2 Pages for. So I will leave that video right here as well. I love those curtains. I get so many compliments on them, and people are like, oh my goodness, your curtains are awesome. I'm like, dude, 2 Pages, like they're worth the money. So if you're ever looking for like designer look curtains, that's your place to go. I've tried Amazon. I've tried all of the budget friendly options, and they're just not as good. I love the pleats. I love them. I love the color. I love that you can get a swatch book and see all of the beautiful colors and options that they have for all of their fabrics. But anyways, I love 2 Pages. So a little plug there for them, just because I truly love them. So since I knew that we were getting those curtains, that's kind of why we started the coffee table project. And the one that we had was literally falling apart. We built it like 5 years ago, and we did edge banding on it, and like the kids had like literally pulled the edge banding off, so you could just see plywood. So this one we did out of real wood. like solid wood. So anyways, since the curtains were coming, I was like, let's go ahead and do our window trim all on these 2 windows, just so we can have it done and painted before we get the curtains, so we don't take them down and all that. So we did that, and we switched out the curtain rods and the curtain rings. I got rid of the gold. I was really into gold, and now I'm kind of like going back into black. I still love gold accents, but I just didn't want gold everything. So I got black curtain rods and curtain rings, and then added those beautiful rust brown curtains, and love it. That was our September. It wasn't like a huge makeover, but you know, it made such a difference, and I love it. So moving into October, we're still super busy with school and sports and all the things and work, but I did a little project. I painted it's my piano now, but it was my grandmother's piano, and it's very special to me. And I don't know if it was just like years of wear and tear or the change. They lived in Colorado, and they brought it down in 2020. So I don't know if it's like the change of like humidity, because Colorado is so dry, and then we're in Alabama and it's like 90% humidity 100% of the time pretty much. So I don't know if it was that like causing some of the damage, or if it's just that it's just older. But I refinished the piano, and that's when I also added that new mirror above it that I found on Facebook Marketplace, and it's like, I don't know if it's vintage or antique. I probably just call it vintage because it's definitely from the 1900s at some point. But that's all I did in October. I did some hosting and was preparing for a lot of different things that are kind of in our personal life, but I still think that it made a big difference in our house. So I'm very happy that I painted that piano. And November was again a month of nothing. I mean, I guess you could say decorating the house for Christmas and all of that. So I guess I did something, but there was no like major project, and that's kind of like how the holidays go for us. We don't really do that much just because, you know, there's so many things happening, and you know, we're just spending time and money on other things. So the home projects kind of take a little step back. But in December, we also did nothing. So sorry to disappoint you. We actually just did this. So I am collaborating with Lowe's to show you guys this beautiful light that we added. It is a like wagon wheel light, and I know people are gonna be like, oh, that's so farmhouse. No, I think it's beautiful. I think it's more like industrial, rustic than anything, which is actually kind of making a comeback. Like a rustic glam is a comeback. But I think that this light looks so beautiful, and it's so affordable for what it is. Like, it's a huge light, and it makes such a big difference. So that kind of leads us into what we're going to be starting out the new year with. I think hopefully we'll start this project in the new year because I've like filmed this part of the video already. Because I've like already started filming that video, and I'd like to, you know, just kind of get the ball rolling on that. But we plan to do like a whole like a ceiling makeover in our living room with like some beams and some wood. So I think that will look so good together, and I'm really happy with the light. I think it made such a difference. We got rid of the fan that the builder put in, and it just did that look the best. So now we've got a pretty light, and I just find myself keep looking at it, and I think it looks so good. And I was like, man, I really wish I had some extra garland to kind of like work around the light, because that's something I did this year in our dining room, and I think that light fixture will look so pretty decorated for Christmas. I know it's so extra, but I think it's so pretty. And sorry, I'm literally looking at it right over here. But that's kind of all we did in December. And now it's time to take the Christmas down. So it's kind of sad, but ready for a fresh, clean start, and kind of start fresh before we start decorating for spring later on next year. I keep wanting to say this year because I'm like, okay, Christmas is over, it's the new year, but we've still got a few more days of 2024. So that is a recap of all we kind of did in our home this year. And I know it might not feel like much when you sit back and look at it, when you're like sitting back and like reflecting on what you did, because in 2023 we did so much. Like, we did so many big projects. But it's nice to kind of take a more relaxed year and just kind of really hone in on what we want our home to look and feel like. So I'm very happy with the progress we made this year, And I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. And I hope that if you are not subscribed yet, that you do choose to stick around and see what all we've got planned for 2025. I'm super excited to be growing my channel this year and be bringing you guys so many good ideas and design and DIYs and even just like smaller crafty things that we can do that we don't necessarily need manpower and power tools for. So I hope you guys had an amazing Christmas and I hope you guys have an amazing new year, and I am so excited to hit the ball rolling in 2025. So thanks for being here. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week and we will chat very soon. Bye.